Inbound messages in Sprinklr are routed using a set of rules and placed into various queues. Dashboard columns then feed off of these queues as a way of determining which data in the system to display. When onboarding a new unit or a new account, we need to make sure there are proper queues created. To do this, we'll open a new tab and search queue in this search box. From here, you'll make sure you're selected on the Manage Workspace sidebar menu, and you'll choose Workspace Queues. You'll see the full list of queues here. There are 6 queues in total that need to be created for each unit. These are created at the main account level, so the tier 1. You can click Add Queue and type the name in manually. I've found copying and pasting an account name to work just as effectively. Add the unit main account name in the description field and ensure it's set to inbound messages for this purpose. You don't need a queue owner or subscriber. Repeat for the other 5 queues, so you have all 6 for your unit. You can see I now have all 6 queues created. Closed responded to will be where messages are sent when we've responded and completed our needs in dealing with them. Hidden is where we will store messages that have been hidden on Facebook or Twitter or X. In progress is a holding pen for messages we are still coordinating a response. No response required are messages that came in, were seen, but don't require any action. Profanity for review will be auto-filtered by a rule to flag messages that may have profanity so the unit can take action if necessary. And universal inbox is the queue that all inbound messages originally flow to. The engagement dashboard columns will show filtered views based on these queues. Now we need to build the inbox rule to funnel these messages into the universal inbox and to establish macros so that we can move messages from the inbox to the other queues after they've been processed. To do that, we'll open a new tab, scroll down to Rule Engine, and in this case you're going to copy a previous rule as a template. Scroll down to Template Inbox Rule, select the 3 dots and select Clone. Change the name to indicate the unit. Hit Next. Here you'll double click to edit, change the unit name, and select the account group that ends in the acronym. This ensures that if the account matches any of the accounts within that account group, the rule can be applied. Scroll down towards the bottom, and on the actions, we'll edit these settings. Double click, change the name, change the inbox to the universal inbox for your unit. Leave the other settings alone. And on the second action box, do the same thing. Change the unit name, set it to the unit universal inbox, and remove the demo. Now hit Save and click Enable Rule. Now any messages that come into the system will check to see if they're part of that main account group. If they are they matching this specific type of messaging? If yes, it adds to the universal inbox and mark it as a new message. Once this is done, now we need to create our macros. Macros are used to move messages from that universal inbox to another queue when they've been processed. I'll open a new tab, scroll down to macros, and again there are templates created. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see templates listed. Here we can clone these and adjust for our unit. In units that have multiple seats, they may need the assign to me macro. This is more the call center approach where you have many users potentially responding and you need to make sure they're not tripping over each other by having them assign a message to themselves to deal with first. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to skip that macro because it's not commonly used. I will, however, copy templates 1 through 5. I'll hover over, choose clone, and enter the number and name, followed by the unit acronym in parentheses. Units will only see their own macros, but super users can see all of the macros, so having that unit designation there helps keep things straight. I'll repeat this for each of the macros. And once all have been created, we'll go in to edit the settings. Once I've cloned and created each placeholder macro, I'll filter the list by my unit acronym to pull up just those macros. I need to edit these macros so they have the correct workspace queues for my unit. I'll hover and select edit, and where there's a placeholder here, I'll start typing. And you'll notice that the workspace queues are not appearing, but I know we've created them because we did that previously. This is a current quirk in Sprinklr. Because I created those workspace queues in a different tab, it's not recognizing that they were created in this tab. So I'm going to hit cancel, refresh my browser, and try again. Edit. And now there they are. I'll choose the no response required and I'll remove the placeholder. And I'll do the same thing with the remove from workspace queues action, replacing each of these one for one with the unit specific one that I previously created and removing the placeholder ones. So this macro, when a message is selected and the macro is applied, it will add the message to the no response required queue. It will remove it from inbox, in progress, and no response required. It will mark the message as a status of no response required, and it will archive it. If someone had been assigned to it, it will remove that value. Next, I will change the visibility of this macro and apply it to the user group for the full college or the highest level group here. This way, only users that are in that user group, but all users within that user group and subgroups will have access. And I'll hit save. I'll repeat this same process for each of these macros, doing a one-to-one match between the old unit that is in there with my new unit. So in this case, the macro will add to the closed responded to, and it will remove from in progress, the inbox, the no response required, and the hidden. I'll remove these other placeholder queues. Confirm the visibility and hit save. Follow the same process for all 5 macros, ensuring that visibility controls are added and the proper queues are assigned. Now that all my macros have been edited and the sharing has been adjusted, you can see on this quick glance that all 5 have been shared to that user group. Now that our workflow queues, rules, and macros have been created, we are ready to move on to building dashboards.